Hi, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson and this is LD, and we are here at Glenda's Dragon's Den. Glenda's Dragon's Den comes to you live on the Conscious Awakening Network on Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and other streaming platforms like Spotify, YouTube, etc. We have a phenomenal guest who has agreed to come back.
The fool.
Reverend Michael
A glutton
Carter.
for punishment. It would take a reverend.
There's one born every minute, let me tell you.
How are you today?
How are you?
Fantastic.
Yeah, you look great. You look
Thank
great.
you.
I saw you the other day talking about Reiki on the show. Yeah, and energy, and it was lovely.
Right. I do the Reiki clinic
Yes.
every Monday night, and I just stream it because I figure everybody needs healing, right? And some people can't afford it. So I figured those that can afford it, they could schedule a private session with me. Those that can't, it goes out there. So
and it goes out there. We've had international people that report, remarkable healing from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's amazing what that energy does. I agree with you. It's amazing.
And she's a 22nd level in the SUI, and she does 9 or 10 other disciplines where she's a Grand Master. So whatever they need is what they get because she just puts it out there.
Yeah.
So how you doing? Hey. We didn't have our little preamble, so
I gotta do it. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. It's been a long week,
and that's why I'm here, because somebody needs a hump.
Yeah. There goes the children's audience.
Yeah, there goes the G-rating.
Well,
sorry, Ashley.
No, I'm okay. It's just been a long week, and it's only we have an older congregation, but we've been growing, but we're at that point now where some of these people I'll probably wind up doing their funerals, and so we got some people with cancer. We have some people who are that it's just part of getting older. So my work is getting busier now, which is okay. That's what they pay me for. But I forgot how tiring it could be, because when COVID came, no one, I didn't even have to be out there that often. I had to be out there on Sundays, and I have office hours. But then when COVID came, they were like, you work from home, come out here, maybe 2 days a week. But that's changing. So I'll be glad when the weekend gets here. I'm a little tired, and I got to work Sunday anyway. So
people thought it was odd, because even as a child, I was drawn to funerals, and I would say the mourner's cottage, and people would say, "What are you doing?" And it's okay, a little extra doesn't hurt.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of being alive. It's part of death, and but it can drain you.
It's not what people think it is, though, because if you've fulfilled your soul evolution, then it's a transition. I prefer to refer to it as a transition.
Mm-hmm.
And, when my father was in a place of transitioning, we were able to have that talk 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and I was very grateful, because he was never really open to it before that.
Yeah.
But, for you, I mean, it must be very rewarding when you're able to bring some comfort and some peace of mind to people.
Yes. It really does. I mean, I feel like I'm making a difference. I still bump into people who will say, you may not remember me, but when my father was dying, you were the chaplain at the hospital who came, and it's gratifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's work.
Yes.
Well, it was during COVID. I did a lot of last rites, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But the nursing homes wouldn't allow me in, so I had to do it through the intercom at the door.
Yeah. But you did it, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's,
And the energy finds a way, and the
Yep.
communication is still as good as being there for those
Yes.
people that need it.
Yes, I agreed.
So what have you been up to?
Well,
Besides that, enough of this.
yeah. No, well, just we have grown, and because we were a small congregation, we had about when I first got there, and I was only speaking once a month. There were 70 people, and they didn't come all 70 people. We had 70 members. That's what I should say. But now we have 150. And so, and we're trying to grow up, because when you're small, you're almost like a club. You're all, everybody knows each other, and they get resistant to people joining. But if you're not growing, you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had resistance to that a little bit. We still do, but you can't stop it. And so that's been wonderful. Now we have health care for some of the employees. Well, all of them, actually. We have a small staff. It's about 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're treating people like they want to be treated, because we're growing up. We're not just a little church on Sunday morning, which I love, but we're also getting busier. And so we're trying to do things a little different. We got parking lot problems, people parking on the grass. These are good problems to have. That means we're growing. So we're thinking, are we going to have 2 services? We're probably a year away from that. So it's just been really, it's a busy time, but it's a good time. But again, the average age, I'm one of the youngest people at my church, and I'll be 66 in July. We're starting to get a little more, some more younger families, that kind of thing. So we're having growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
And so my role is a little busier, and you do what you need to do. My daughter will be going to college in a year and a half. She has her first piano recital the 30th of this month, so I want to be there for that.
Good.
I got to go see my parents. Just the little stuff of life. My mom has dementia. Her short-term memory is shot. My stepdad is in his 90s, and he's, they're both frail. So it's just those things, just life, keeping me busy. But I have a good life, and I never forget that, and I'm grateful.
Well, speaking to that, my mother in her last year or so was in a nursing home, COPD and severe cerebral atrophy and dementia. And yet I get a call 9 o'clock at night. They want to put her into a mental hospital. And I'm like, okay, why is that? Well, she's very agitated and we can't calm her down. So fortunately, it was very clear to them to call me before they did anything like that. So it could be all right there, and you're on the other side of the river, so it'll take me about half an hour, 45 minutes. But it's 9 o'clock. I know, so you better tell someone to let me in. So I'll be there. And I go there, and there's a cousin that she hasn't seen in 10 years, who is a merchant marine sea captain. And she's frantic that she has to reach him because he's in trouble. And I'm like, okay, we have a good relationship. Most of the time she thought I was my father, but she knew who I was. So that was a good thing for me. And I said, here's the deal. Your job was to let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will take it seriously, and I will find him wherever he is, and I will make sure that he's okay. And when I do, I will report back to you. But understand, he may be at sea, and this may not happen tonight. But I need you to accept the fact that you've done your job, and you let me know, and I will handle it from here, okay? Calmed right down. And they'll look at me like, what did you do? I managed it. Turns out, when we coordinated everything, he was in the middle of the Indian Ocean. He'd blown discs in his back, and he almost had to be medevaced off the ship.
Wow.
So I've told this at a couple of the death cafes because I'm very opposed to that whole concept. You know, I said, you never know when they'll last see telling you Timmy's in the well. And even with severe dementia, their higher selves are still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Yep. So your congregation is growing, which congratulations. Not too many congregations are growing these days.
I know, Glenda, and I've been reading about this with and Judaism. Maybe I was reading something today, as a matter of fact, but mainline Protestant churches, um, um, Catholic churches, they're having their problems, and so yeah, we've been very grateful. The thing is that Europe went through this after World War II. They're just more secular. There's a more secular culture now,
right?
And we don't have that here. We probably will. I was reading in several journals and what have you just a couple months ago that the demographic is changing, where more people are identifying obviously as spiritual, not religious. And there's some people who say, well, I don't have, they call them nuns, N-O-N-E-S, that we don't have any religious affiliation. So it's going to be interesting to see how that will play out in politics, voting. They say about maybe 2030 that the United States, maybe sooner, to be honest with you, will probably be a nation of non-religious people.
Well, all I can tell you is word got out you were coming, and everybody, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear him again. So yeah, I think it has a lot to do with who's serving and who's giving those messages.
You are spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, damn spot. No, sorry.
He didn't take his medication today, Glenda.
No, unfortunately. I didn't make sure.
Well, I didn't take mine either.
I was, I was busy, and I didn't force him.
Yes, out there. Yes, just a little.
What can I say?
A little Macbeth, a little Scottish.
No, I apologize in advance.
No, but it does make a difference, because now, I mean, I'm not telling you all stuff you don't already know, but yeah, it depends on how. Okay, how can I say this? I'm with a Unitarian Universalist congregation, right? And some of them you can't even mention the word God in, which is wrong, because we say we're all open, but some of them are more atheistic. We have a very eclectic. We got witches, we got Wiccan, we got everybody across the board.
Right.
And I got to tell you something, atheists as well. On Easter, just like the mainline churches, on Easter and Christmas Eve, that our church is packed. Okay. And so the thing is that, and I mean, the beautiful thing is I can preach something from the New York Times. I can take a Bible. I mean, that's why I love it. I mean, it's not perfect. My point being is that if I do preach something from the Bible, UUs are very weird. They want their ministers to be biblically trained. They just don't want to hear about it. But
yes.
But if you make the stories universal, they will come, right? If you build it, they will come. And so what I try to do, and it's not hard for me to do because that's how I look at it, that these stories, whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Christian, if I'm preaching from the Bible, if I'm talking about something from the Dhammapada, they are stories about what it means to be human.
Exactly.
And so, the people come, and they've been coming, and I'm just happy, because you're right. Most of the churches are, they're dwindling. They're dwindling. So we're doing just the opposite, and whatever we're doing, we're going to keep on doing. And we got a good group of people there.
And no matter what you present, as long as you present it with a non-biased opinion, it's like when I teach my classes, I teach all different types of classes. And when I used to have our spiritual Sunday or Thursday, whichever day it was I brought all different types of subjects. It wasn't just one, and I made it general enough that anybody who wanted to take something from it could.
Yeah.
And Saturday she's doing a Wiccan Reiki.
Sunday.
Sunday she's doing a Wiccan Reiki class in the afternoon, right?
Yeah. And I think that's the key. You let people take away from it what they need to take from it. You don't have to tell them, because everybody's going to take something different. Right. It's like non-attachment. I don't have any strings attached. This is what my message is this Sunday. It may work with you. It may resonate for you. Some people it won't. Then they'll come back next Sunday. Maybe what I'm talking about then will. I mean, they get to see what I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 weeks in advance, because I have to come up with. So, and people come if they say, oh, that sounds like an interesting talk, because you can stay in bed on Sundays. You can go read the Times or go have some coffee or make love. You can do whatever you want. But these people are saying, maybe I'll do all that before, but I'm going to go hear Reverend Carter. So that means that I take it seriously, and that they're saying, okay, we want to get up early and be there. So my responsibility is obvious. And so far, so good.
Well, back in the 70s, I got known for helping people that had migraines. And I helped a co-ed who happened to be a member of the IVCF. The next thing I know, the heads of the IVCF want to talk to me.
No, tell me what that is.
InterVarsity Christian Fellowship.
Okay.
And they're, looking at me with a little side eye, and I'm like, I'm just a conduit. I never claimed to have any power. Whatever I do, I'm a conduit for, and I'm helping this woman. Does this woman seem harmed to you in any way? And they're like, no. I said, well, thank you for your time, and I'll be going now.
Yeah.
People get stuff into their heads that's, just in their heads. And once you have something in your head, boy, trying to knock it loose is...
Yeah, sometimes that's the worst place it can be.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's true.
It's all balance.
Mm-hmm. So, you have anything coming up?
Besides us.
You know what? What is it? Okay. I mean, I got some podcasts that I'll probably be doing sometime next week, but it's been quiet. But the podcasts have been keeping me going. And you know what? There's intelligence in the universe. It's been so busy that I probably couldn't put one more thing on my plate. But yeah, the only thing so far is I'm going back to Michigan in September to the Michigan UFO Con.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the 3rd week in September.
And we'll see you there.
Yes, I will be there for that. And that's about it. Haven't heard from Ancient Aliens in a while, but they're just showing reruns. And I know the writer strike is not helping. And they're, Giorgio and Nick Pope, they're doing their little tour. But so in a way, it gives me time to do things like I was talking to you about. Let me go check on my mom, spend some time with my daughter, spend some time with family, because you know how it is. It'll be dry, and then all of a sudden, boom, all of a sudden it's busy. But I've been doing quite a few podcasts, and that's helpful.
Well, let us know if you want. We'll promote them. Let us know if you want. We'll promote them.
Oh, okay.
If you want, yeah, because like I said, people were really excited you were coming on, and I tried to get over my ego disappointment on that, but I thought they showed up every week to see Glenda, but yeah, that's it.
You are crazy. No, I will let you know. I never thought of it. But I will do that. Yeah, because I mean, and
Please.
people, I was with RJ and Deb, and we have that contact voices, and then Michelle DeRoche, I think, is her name, and
Drews.
I pop up on those things. Thank you for having Gerard on. I talked to him today. I keep saying I'll save my pennies and get to Amsterdam at some point on a bucket list. But he said he had a great time. I told him this morning. We try to talk that I was going to see you guys tonight. We try to talk like once every 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he
yeah,
was wonderful too.
Yeah, he's a beautiful soul. He really is.
But that's what we try to do is introduce people to other ideas, because that's why we're here is to interface and get out of our own ideas, because all the ideas are connected.
Yeah, just to hear. I mean, it's good to hear different stories and different narratives and to share. And that's why I said to you guys last time, this is like a ministry that you have, and your guests are, are with you, and your audience is like the congregation, and you're giving them a message. You're not telling them what to think, who to think, and you plant the seeds, and it empowers them, and that's what a ministry is to me.
Exactly.
And I think that's a big difference between the ones that are dying and what we do, and you do. Because some of the ones that are dying are telling people what and how to think.
Oh no, it just, and then it just doesn't work. And then you have people resenting you, and so you just, it's like the parable of the sower, right? You plant some seeds, some of them will fall on good soil, some of them will fall on rocky soil, some of it the weeds will choke, but some of it will fall on good soil, and then those seeds will grow. And it just works. It's simple. If you get attached, then you got a problem, because it's not even a gift anymore, because there's strings attached. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And just nothing really good comes out of that.
No, it doesn't. And you lose yourself as well. Yep. So just keep on keeping on. Keep on doing what you're doing. I was writing a sermon today, and I'm so far ahead. See, I can come up with the titles, but you got to put something underneath of them. And they want to know like 3 or 4 weeks ahead. What are you talking about? Because we put it out in a bulletin and people come. But I was writing a sermon today about Hiroshima Day.
Okay.
Because August 6th, 78 years ago, we dropped that bomb. And then we dropped it again 3 days later in Nagasaki. And it just got me thinking. I wanted to put a lot of stuff in, but I only got 20 minutes. I try not to go over 20 minutes because people lose their attention span, and it's just too long. Even though when I was coming up as a Baptist, people talk for 45 minutes to an hour. I was miserable. And back in the day, in like Lincoln's time, people talked, for an hour or two. So thank goodness we've graduated from that. But I say all that to say, it just when you look around, and you sometimes, I mean, we're really this close to a nuclear exchange, even if it's not countries exchanging, like in Ukraine, for instance.
Right.
All you have to do is hit one of those power plants by mistake. One of your missiles goes awry, or your coordinates when you're bombing, and we've got a problem. And so it's even more prescient now than it was back. Well, I don't want to say that because I wasn't the one that got the bomb dropped on me. But I mean, just the times that we live in. And sometimes we can be so caught up in everyday life. You got responsibilities, relationships to cultivate, those kinds of things. But things could change like that.
Well,
so
you can flesh this out if you want, but I saw a quote today, supposedly by Einstein, who said, humans build a nuclear bomb, but no mouse ever built a mousetrap.
Right. Yeah. Well, because the mouse is not self-destructive. The mouse is not going to trap itself. Yeah. I mean, well, he also he said so many things. He says, I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could be right back in the Stone Age. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't dwell on that because otherwise you don't get out of bed in the morning. But it's just so precarious, and we're just not getting it. That what I do to you, I do to myself.
Yep.
But maybe we'll learn. Maybe it'll take something to jolt us. Um, I've been wanting to talk about this for so long, and I just said, well, usually I don't. This is why, because usually I don't speak on the first Sunday of the month. I speak second, third, and fourth Sundays. When there's Sundays with 5 Sundays, we kind of negotiate it. And so, but because I have to go out of town, I'm going to a family reunion. My wife's family is having a reunion. I'm going to speak on the first Sunday, and it's August 6th. So I said, well, what can I talk about? And so I was doing the research the past 3 days. I had to rewrite it and write it because I'm the type of person, I try, everything's a gem. I got to keep all that in, but I'd be up there talking for an hour. So 20 minutes, I hit the high points. But my point of all this, though, is just that here we are, 78 years later, and we're still teetering that because our missiles now are on steroids compared to what we dropped on those countries, and it's not Mickey Mouse. And hopefully we can wake up.
Yes.
We can wake up.
Well, this is right now pivotal time, not only for that, but also as we learn, evolve, and heal, so we could then ascend to the, as they say, the fifth dimension or the fifth level of our spirituality. And right now we're kind of stuck on 3D. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, the more we learn, the more we see, the more we expand our mind and our hearts, we start to realize that it isn't one person who's going to go. It's the combination and the togetherness of all of us. It's not, it's not a one man trip. It's not a one woman trip. It's all of us together. We have to join so we can get there. And it just seems like lately,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
one step forward and like 20 back.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we got a choice to make, and so,
Right.
and as you intimated, you're only, leaders. You can only go as fast as your slowest person.
Right.
At least if you're good leaders. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see where it takes us. I mean, I'm always hopeful, but some days I'm more hopeful than others. Because when I hear people talking about tactical nukes and smart bombs, no, that's a fallacy. Innocent people get killed, babies get, it's no such thing as a tactical nuke.
Well,
You got
what people
nuclear
don't
winter.
get is control is an illusion.
Yes,
And
yes,
we are here to exert our free will under the consequences of those decisions.
that's right.
If you take free will away, wherever you take it away, whatever your position on that free will is, you're impeding that soul's evolution. And
Yes,
that's what people don't get. People are all caught in the minutia of their illusion of control.
yeah,
And I just laugh. I'm like, hey, have at it, because I know where I'm going.
yeah,
And I'm not going where you're leading.
yeah,
Just so
exactly,
you know.
exactly. Yeah, I got my own problems.
Yeah.
I don't got any problems. I got no problems, dude. Seriously. I've spun this wheel, 2,000 times? About? Yeah. So, hey, I'll be back in the lightning round.
Yeah.
I still say the next one I have to come back for because I made a promise. But the one after that, I'm staying up there in a nice fluffy cloud, drinking virgin pina coladas and looking
Wow.
down and saying, "Yeah, you fools, work at it."
Yeah, you have the pina coladas, I'll have the virgins.
Oh God. Oh my goodness.
I
Oh my
But
can't.
that's
goodness.
an
I
different
can't. I
that's a
can't.
different religion. But
Yeah. There goes the family audience again.
Yeah.
It's all over. It's all over.
Yeah, it's all over, all over. But no, it's and what like we were saying, spirituality is growing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are just like in religion, spiritually leading people the wrong way also. Instead of just teaching them and showing them and letting the person take what they need to take, they're teaching them, showing them, and then pushing them, just like regular religion,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
religion has
unfortunately,
intention.
yeah.
Spirituality does not have intention. Spirituality just has love. And that's to me the defining line between the two. So once you try to preach with intention, you lose me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't lose
I
you.
I I I I do believe there is good in religion.
Right,
I think but there is bad theology.
right,
And so and it's very divisive.
yeah.
Um and even the word, religio means to yoke in Latin,
Hmm.
to bring together, to bind together. And there are good things to religion, and you look through history. Dr. King, who's going to say that Dr. King was bad religion?
Right.
Um, and you
But he
and
was
there,
more spiritual than trying to give any intention other than we have to come together and love each other and be equal.
no, I agree with that. I don't know how he would. He may not even make that different, that those different views. I don't know differentiation, whatever. First day with the new lips. I'm sorry,
It's
but
okay.
but so I don't want to poo-poo religion. I know some people who think they're spiritual, it's more ego. It's like something like a coat you put on. I'm
Hmm.
spiritual, and I'll let you know I wear all these crystals, and I say, there's I think you find positive and negative in both camps.
Hmm.
I've just come to the conclusion, and a wise rabbi said this over 2,000 years ago, that by their fruits you shall know them. I know what you believe by how you treat me and how you treat the earth, how you treat sentient beings. Because there are people who I know who are in Bible study. Well,
Hmm.
it's probably over now. It's Wednesday night. They're in the temple on Friday, the mosque, the shul. They're doing all the right stuff on the outside, but they will treat you like you are something on the bottom of their shoe.
Hmm.
But yet they're doing the right things, outwardly. So, it's just boiled down to I'll know what you believe by how you treat me.
Hmm. And that is why I love. I belong to this interfaith uh, society or
Hmm.
group, and we all speak on what we believe or what our path is, and we learn from each other. And yet, we have discovered we're really not that far apart. If you leave all the human-made rules,
Yeah, the dogma.
the dogma, and take it out of it, and it's a beautiful group. We understand each other's past, we respect each other's past, and we present our own path in a way so others could understand. And even, for example, I'm supposed to speak in October about Wiccan, about paganism and Wiccan.
Yeah,
And they're all like all excited, even though they're, very religious Catholics and Baptists and
yeah,
Methodists, and we're, it's a whole group of people. And I have found that is so beautiful for me, because we all speak from our heart, not from what is written per se.
Yeah, I forgot who was it, Rabbi Heliel, or anyway, he said, I mean, in ancient times, I forget. My seminary education, sometimes I forget. That it's you love your neighbor as yourself. The rest is commentary.
Right.
The rest is commentary.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the big picture, not the minutia.
Yeah.
What turned me was I married a religious person.
Not me. Previous marriage.
And I was very young. And you know Rabbi Schneerson? He was the head of
Yeah, I've heard of him. He's in Brooklyn,
Lubavitch.
right? Yeah.
Sorry?
Is he still was he in Brooklyn?
Yeah, he was the head of the Lubavitch community.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
You know, I try to explain to people that don't know him, he was kind of like the Jewish Pope.
Yes.
And
an interesting way to put it.
My future mother-in-law took her daughter to him to try and break up the marriage. I never met the man, and he turned around and said, no, she has to marry him. But I want him to read the book, which was The Jewish Way in Love and Marriage. And discuss it with his rabbi. So the rabbi, you know, I go to the rabbi and I go, look, I got a little problem with this book. He's like, oh, tell me about it. I said, there's stuff in here they say I can't do. I kind of like it, you know? What's up? This is sort of an old... And he says, here's the deal. He says, the union between a couple precedes the parents, precedes the children. It's about building the foundation as a couple and staying together. So the things in this book are there so that you never create any harm to the intimacy of your relationship. But that said, if you like it and she likes it, go ahead.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the moment of epiphany.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I understood, you know, okay, it's there as a boundary if needed, but it's not something that everyone had to follow.
Right.
And, you know, that was a wonderful relationship and a wonderful understanding of the difference between having the intention and attaching to the power of the written word as opposed to the spirit.
Right. Yes. Yes. Where the spirit of the law is really more important than the letter of the law.
True.
Yeah.
So, you've written books, and I know we talked about this a little bit the last time. And so now, how many books do you have up?
5.
5. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they're all on Amazon.
Yeah. And all Barnes and Nobles.
There. Well, we're going to put it up for Amazon. There's your. Yeah. That's where. You're welcome. That's where people can find you as the author. That's your author page, and they can find all your books there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as I recall, you have a 6th one in the works.
I've been lazy. One of the people at church wanted me to write a book of sermons.
Right.
And they would edit it for me and that kind of thing. I'm thinking about that, but I'm trying to say, who's my audience? You know, maybe people in my church would buy it, but they hear them all the time. So
I would buy it.
But right, really?
Yes. I'd love to.
You ever come to a service and you're not sure what to say? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a book of sermons of someone that you respected, just to give you an idea of where to go or how someone felt about a viewpoint?
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Good. Write the damn book.
Right.
Don't be so lazy. I'll coach you.
Touche.
First chapter next week.
Touche. Touche.
At least give me an outline.
Write
Something we
the
can work.
damn book. Write the book.
No,
Well, he's been very
seriously.
patient, so I said I'll let you know. I just got to put everything
Mhm.
together, and the topics and that kind of thing.
But I mean, I look sometimes because I get stuck, especially when I was doing it every week. I would get stuck, and I'm like, oh, what am I talking about today? And sometimes
See, it's all his fault.
it's all his fault.
That's
I know.
right. He hasn't written
No,
the damn book yet.
no,
I
it's no, it is. It's a chore,
It is.
coming up with something every week. The
Mhm.
thing that helps and hinders is that we don't just have to stick with the Bible.
Right.
Which is great because I got more ideas I can play with.
Right.
But then in some ways it's easier because you just look and say, okay,
You open the book. Oh, that's
I'm going
right.
to preach from Isaiah today, or I'm going to, but and congregations are much more intelligent than they
Mhm.
used to be, so it's more of a challenge how you can resonate with them.
Yeah.
But but it's wonderful to be able to give a good message.
Exactly. And sometimes all you need is the idea. So
Yeah.
I sometimes I used to say, okay, give me something. I don't care what it is.
I haven't let
Something.
her down yet. I
Yeah.
always do something. She says, that's a good sermon. Yeah, I should have listened.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. It's unfiltered, and you can say, I'm going to expound on this. And
Exactly.
usually, I remember before Marianne Williamson became Marianne Williamson,
Uh-huh.
before Oprah and all that, I used to go to some of her lectures on A Course in Miracles when she was going back from New York and L.A. with God's Love We Deliver, and then with Manhattan Center for Living. But she said that if anyone truly has something to say,
Mm-hmm.
there is always truly someone who needs to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And that always stuck with me, well, obviously. So that's kind of the way I approach it. As long, if it's because it's difficult to be a good human being. Not
Dude, it's
all
kept
the
you
time.
going for 66 years.
But it is,
Respect
yeah.
the streak.
Yes. She's an intelligent woman.
Yeah.
And you may have been to a workshop that I actually did audio for at the theater at Madison Square Garden, where she was there with a number of other people from the Hayes organization before Oprah.
From Louise Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Hay House, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. She used to come to the Universalist Church up on Central Park West and between 77 and 78th Street, 76 and 77th Street. And a lot of people rented that place out. It's a beautiful
Space.
Oh, it's a beautiful space, yes. But she used to come there and it'd be packed. And this was in the heyday of AIDS. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the congregation, most of the people attending were gay brothers and sisters. And, she just had a wonderful message in her interpretation of the course. Everybody interprets it differently. I don't use it that much anymore. I have it here. I can always go look at it. But it was very helpful, that kind of spiritual psychotherapy that it brings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Boy, that was a long time ago.
Well, that's the beauty of being as old as I am. You get to go back into the Stone Age, and the last time we were with clubs and sticks, and
Yeah,
draw that line in the sand.
there you go. Yeah, you put a little loincloth. You put a little loincloth on, and you run around. Yeah.
Well, that was last night. But that's another story.
Oh, there it is.
Not with me. So he must have forgotten to put
we are now. Our show is now canceled, ladies and gentlemen.
George got to take that swing. It's gonna hurt, but George gotta do it.
Oh my God. I love
I
it.
really need to medicate him a little more.
I love it. Yes, yes. Just a half a pill more.
Maybe a whole one. He's a
Yeah,
little. He's got a lot to cover there.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
No, it's but that would be a good book. Seriously, that would be a very good
You
book.
know, I'm closer to it. I'm closer to it. Maybe this summer I'll start on it
Yeah, and
because he will edit it for me, and I got it. You pay him and thing, but then they'll
right,
put it on Amazon.
Or
yeah,
maybe that's the one I'm, intuiting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the one, and I'm glad you said you would buy it. I always try to keep, well, who's my audience,
right.
and I have two other books that are not UFO related, but the UFO books are the ones that people buy.
Dude, I'd
Um,
buy it just to read the dedication.
yeah, I'll just have to. You got me thinking about it.
Good.
You got me thinking about it.
That's good. Very good. Get those mental juices going.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, it seems like people are buying UFOs because books because people finally realize that they're not by themselves. They're not the only ones experiencing everything.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I agree, Glenda. And it's mainstream now.
right.
I
Uh,
thought people were buying them to
you
see if
know,
they were in the background of the selfies. But we're in that time and place, so it
yeah,
could happen.
yeah. No, but
But
it's. Did you ever think? You're seeing this in these stories in the Washington Post and the New York Times, and you know, uh, Fox News is usually doing something. These are exciting times.
yes,
They're strange times. They're promising times. There's scary times,
mhm,
but these are the times we live in. Just what 2 weeks ago, the Senate had another hearing on this stuff. So, did you ever think that was going to happen?
mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see where it takes us. What's the old Chinese? They call it a curse, but I don't think it really is. But
May
may
you
you
live in
live in
interesting
interesting times,
times.
and we certainly do.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
certainly do.
And I believe it's a good thing anyway because it's opening up everybody's mind and also themselves because more people are able to talk about it.
You
Yeah.
can't embrace that reality and hold on to racism. You can't embrace that reality and think you're the apex of intelligent
Yeah.
life
Yeah. Yeah.
in the universe.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it.
Yeah. You got it. I agree.
Mm.
I agree. But you have to embrace it, and it scares some people.
Mhm.
Some people, as we know, difference is scary.
Yep. Well,
Difference is scary to a lot of people, and so if I don't understand it or know it, or I'm going to hurt it because I'm afraid.
mhm. And even, right now, as we talk about all of our experiences with UFOs or galactic families or whatever you want to call it, um, some people don't have very good experiences, and yet others only have good experiences. Like I'm very blessed. I've only had good experiences, and my experiences may come a little different because it's more like I'm part of them instead of on this side
Mhm.
because I have experienced the ships as a helper to them,
Mhm.
as hold somebody's hand to make
Mhm.
sure that they're not afraid while they're getting healed or they're receiving healing.
Mhm.
And that could be scary to the person who's on that stretcher or
Yeah.
bed or whatever it is.
But it's always fun when the person looks around and says, "That was you?" And she's had that happen already.
And so I just look at it as it's good that the subject is out so people can then release what they need to release.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is nobody has to buy it. If you're not ready, I'm not going to force you.
Yeah.
I'll still, give my truth. I'll give my experience, but I'm not going to make you change your mind about a belief you have.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Not
that's
my
right.
job.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before with some of the religious / spiritual gatherings. But yeah, it's I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, because there are people who did not have the greatest experiences,
Exactly.
or continue not to have the greatest experience, and there has to be room for that, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has to be room for other narratives as well.
Exactly.
And that way, you don't get like one person or one group of people who are controlling the narrative, i.e., whether it's our government, whether it's certain people who have an investment in the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons I wrote the first book. My brother here brought up racism. Yeah, I wrote it because this lifetime I'm brown,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a person of color this lifetime. And I was watching and hearing these narratives of how all the reptilians were bad, all the grays are bad, the blonde, blue-eyed Nordics are the good ones, and that's simply not true, and it's not accurate. And there are other narratives, and that's what spurred me on to write the first book.
Mm-hmm.
That I had met some of these people, and some of the very people that people were saying, well, those people are evil. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I didn't have that experience.
Right.
And so I can make room for your narrative, but you need to be able, because we're just stereotyping.
Exactly.
And we do it with each other.
We don't
And
need
now
to.
we're doing it with off-world intelligences, and you can't evolve that way.
No.
You can't get out of this 3D thing if that's the way you're going to look at life. So that was my contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my favorite thing is looking the misogynist in the eye and saying, you do realize next time you're coming back as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment of what?
Yeah. It's a journey.
It is a journey.
It's a journey.
And that's the good thing about all these subjects being out in the open. It stops, hopefully, people from putting everything in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That is so limiting in general. It's like, just because I say I'm a witch, or I believe in nature, and I believe in something higher, or I believe in the divine, and I believe in God, whatever I say, doesn't mean that that's it.
Right.
I mean,
that's one facet of the jewel of Glenda.
I like to take everything into consideration, and I like to come up with what my truth is.
Yeah.
And that's
I agree.
why. That's
I agree.
why. That's why I decided not to go into any affiliation with my reverend side of things. And I figured this way everybody has a chance to be in a spiritual place, learning spirituality, getting something out of them, getting some soul food, some spiritual food, without having to say, you can't do this, or you got to do this. You got to, no. I just like to give people the chance to open their minds and their souls.
Yeah.
Which is basically what you're doing also.
Yeah. This is the age of Aquarius that people were talking about. And it doesn't mean that we're all going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya or Imagine. But
no,
it does mean,
but
yeah, it does mean that it's a time when we can either get it that we're one,
right,
and we're part of this one mind, or whatever you want to call it,
mm-hmm.
or we can keep on with this illusion of separation and wind up hurting ourselves. The choice is ours.
Mm-hmm.
and I know, well, it's almost time, I know, but we go back to what we were talking about at the beginning, that you can do anything you want. You just have to realize that you pay the consequences for it.
Yeah.
Free will, you have free will. You can do anything you want. I can try to run through this glass window if I want. But I also have to know that I'll probably need stitches.
Yep.
And so maybe that's a good message to end on, just to say, hey, just, being spiritually mature is being accountable.
Exactly.
And also, people are not who they were 5 minutes ago, 5 days ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago. People continue to evolve.
Yes.
And so if you knew me in high school, yeah, that person probably doesn't exist anymore. Are you the same person you were in high school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a meme today on social media where this guy said, you can't imagine my shock when I found out that my high school people that I knew in high school were running the country.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. It's probably a little scary, but yeah, the people I knew in high school are now running the country.
Oh
Well, listen.
And doesn't that explain a lot?
Yes, it does. I want to thank you for having me on.
I want to thank you for being had.
Now,
And
I'm going to put up where people can find you, like your Facebook page.
Yes, they can. Reverend Michael J. Carter is my fan page.
Okay.
And then I have another page, Reverend Michael J.S. Carter, because I forgot I had one page. Yeah. It's I need my medication. So now I got 2 pages, but mostly people go to Reverend Michael J. Carter. And
you spelled meditation wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's the story. That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
If you can't spell it, you're not going to be able to do it.
That's it.
But let's do it again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I gotta go. I'm going to go to see my parents the first week in June. I'll be there for a week, but I'll be back after that.
All right. Well,
if the creek don't rise, God willing, the creek
we
don't
may
rise.
see you Father's Day or the weekend after that. So,
well, I'll be here.
Well, please do stick around after the show for a moment.
Okay.
And we'll wrap up. Honey, take us home.
I apologize before, but I'm going to apologize again. I forgot to give him his medication, and not meditation.
It was fun.
You forgot to express some before we got on, huh?
It was fun.
I would like to send blessings and love and hugs to everyone. I know there's that energy of needing it, and you are more than welcome to receive it from me. Thank you for following us, for watching every single week, and we look forward to hearing from you, emails, messages. And again, blessings, love, and love yourselves.
And you're more than willing to reject it from me.
Yes, it's a good point. Bye.